Let me ask you something that is going to make some people uncomfortable. When did we decide that what a person owns is more impressive than what a person knows? Because right now, online, that conversation is happening loudly. People are holding up lifestyle, luxury against years of study, sacrifice, and savings and asking, was it even worth it? It is terrible. Like a diploma is a consolation prize, like discipline was the wrong bet. I want to sit with that question today because I think the answer reveals something dangerous about where we are heading as a society. Every generation gets to choose its heroes. But here is what people don't say. You don't just choose a hero, you choose a value system. You choose what your children will grow believing success looks like. You choose what a young person sitting in a classroom at 6 a.m. studying while everyone else is asleep decides to do next. So when we celebrate someone's wealth and in the same breath question the value of education, we are not just having a conversation online. We are writing a script for the next generation to follow, and that script should scare us. A doctor saves a life at 2 a.m. and nobody posts about it. An engineer designs the bridge an entire city crosses every morning and it's just expected. A teacher spends 30 years shaping minds that go on to run companies, lead governments, raise families, and somehow that's the job people are questioning. Meanwhile, one flashy moment online goes viral and suddenly the narrative becomes maybe school wasn't worth it. After all, we are not comparing professions anymore. We are comparing attention, and attention is not the same as value. Here is the part nobody wants to hear. Every success story that goes viral is an exception and not a formula. For every one person who built wealth outside the traditional path, there are thousands quietly, privately, who took the same risk and never made it. You just don't see their story trending. Algorithms don't celebrate struggle without a punchline. So before you let a viral moment rewrite your entire belief system, ask yourself, am I seeing the full picture or just a highlight reel? You don't build a life strategy around an exception. And now let's be honest about what education was actually designed to do. It was never a guarantee of wealth. It was never a promise that life would be easy. It gives you a way of thinking. It gives you a way of solving problems, a foundation that holds when everything else shakes. The doctor doesn't just know medicine. They know how to think under pressure when a life is on the line. The engineer doesn't just draw plans. They understand why a structure stands or falls. That kind of knowledge doesn't trend, but it holds the world together. The question was never school or no school. The real question is, why aren't we building systems that rewards both knowledge and talent equally? And this is where it gets personal for me, because I work with students every single week who have done everything right, studied hard, passed their exams, built a transcript most people would be proud of. And they come to me not because they failed, but because the system at home doesn't have enough room for what they have built. Not enough opportunities, not enough doors, not enough seats at the table. And that's not an education problem. That's a governance problem. It is a policy problem. That's what we should be demanding change on, not telling young people that books were never worth it. So what do we do when the door at home is too small? We find another door. And that's exactly what we help students do. We take the qualifications, the results, the years of hard work a student has already put in, and we connect them to universities in Canada, the UK, Australia, and Europe that are actively looking for what African students bring. Through our 15 and more partner schools, most of which cover the admission fees, we handle the admission process, scholarship, navigation, and visa support, so that no student's potential is wasted simply because the opportunity wasn't available close to home. The work wasn't wasted, the door just wasn't there. Celebrate every honest success. Celebrate the creators, the entrepreneurs, the people building things with their hands, their voice, their talent. All of it deserves recognition. But let's not confuse celebration with instruction. Celebrating someone's success is not the same as telling a child to copy their path, because paths are personal. What worked for one person in one season of life is not a blueprint for millions of different stories. Influence is a responsibility. And when you have millions of young people watching, what you normalize matters more than you intend. The children in classrooms today are watching what we celebrate. They are learning right now what we think is worth respecting. And one day, sooner than we think, they will be the ones making decisions that affect all of us, as doctors, as engineers, as policy makers, as parents. They will live with whatever values we taught them to admire. So I will ask you one more time, what exactly are we teaching them to admire? Money can buy comfort, yes, but it cannot replace competence. And a society that forgets that is building on sand. Let's be careful what we normalize, because the generation watching us today will decide what normal looks like tomorrow.